The Galactic Council's decree had been clear. Humanity was too dangerous, too unpredictable, too primitive to join the interstellar community. Captain Elena Vasquez remembered the broadcast that had reached Earth's satellites 47 years ago, the one that had changed everything. The Council's representative, a crystalline being from Epsilon Eridani, had spoken with cold precision about humanity's aggressive tendencies and technological recklessness. Earth was quarantined. No trade, no diplomacy, no contact. They had expected humanity to wither. Elena stood on the observation deck of the Shadow Prometheus, watching the nebula's crimson gases swirl beyond the reinforced polymethyl viewport. The ship hung in the darkness between stars. In a region the Council's navigation charts marked as sterile void, space too poor in resources to merit exploration. The Council had been wrong about that, too. "Captain, we're receiving signal confirmation from Outpost Theta through Omega," said Commander James Park, his neural interface flickering with bioluminescent traces beneath his temple. "The network is stable. All 14 shadow stations are operational." Elena nodded, pulling up the holographic display with a gesture. 14 stations, each one invisible to Council sensors, built from materials that absorbed rather than reflected detection waves. Humanity had learned to hide in the first decade after the quarantine. They'd learned to thrive in the second. The technology had come from necessity. When the Council cut Earth off, they'd assumed humanity lacked the exotic matter required for faster-than-light travel. They were correct at the time. But what the Council hadn't anticipated was humanity's talent for reverse engineering wreckage. That derelict Zuthian freighter drifting near Jupiter's orbit had provided the foundation. Within 15 years, human physicists had cracked the mathematics of quantum foam manipulation. But humanity didn't announce their achievement. They remembered the Council's judgment. "Ma'am, incoming tight beam from Director Chen at Foundry Station 7, Park reported. The director's face materialized above the hollow emitter, her features drawn with exhaustion and excitement. "Captain Vasquez, we've completed the prototype. The mass energy converter operates at 94% efficiency. We can now generate exotic matter at industrial scales." Elena felt her pulse quicken. Industrial scales. That changed everything. "What's the projected production capacity?" "Enough to power 300 vessels within 18 months. Enough to establish permanent settlements in 70 systems within 5 years. Chen's smile was grim. "The Council thought they were protecting the galaxy from us. Instead, they gave us 47 years to prepare in secret." The irony wasn't lost on Elena. While the Council's civilization sprawled across 6,000 systems, comfortable and stagnant, humanity had compressed its evolutionary pressure into less than 5 decades. They'd built their infrastructure in the forgotten spaces, rogue planets drifting in interstellar darkness, nebulae too dense for Council sensors, the gravitational shadows of neutron stars. "How many of us are there now?" Elena asked, though she knew the approximate figures. "Last census put us at 9 billion, Park answered. "Spread across 42 hidden colonies, another 12 million living on mobile habitat clusters. 9 billion souls, invisible to the galaxy that had rejected them." Elena pulled up the tactical display, watching the data streams from humanity's shadow network. They'd built an empire without territory, a civilization without recognition. Their vessels moved through the dark matter currents that Council ships avoided. Their communications ran through quantum-entangled particles, impossible to intercept. Their children grew up learning alien languages from intercepted broadcasts, studying Council politics and economics with academic rigor. "Captain, long-range sensors are detecting Council activity," announced Lieutenant Sarah Morrison from her station. "Looks like a diplomatic convoy heading toward the Sirius cluster." Elena zoomed in on the sensor data. 8 Council vessels, their hulls gleaming with prosperity and complacency. They traveled along the established hyperspace lanes, broadcasting their presence proudly, Why wouldn't they? In their 10,000-year history, the Council had never faced a peer competitor. They had no idea that humanity's ships shadowed every major Council route, that human observers sat in every significant star system, watching, learning, recording, that humanity had mapped every Council military installation, every industrial complex, every resource depot. Should we maintain distance? Park asked. Elena considered. The old Elena, the one who'd been a junior officer when Earth received the Council's rejection, would have said yes. Stay hidden. Stay safe. But that Elena had believed humanity needed the Council's approval. No, she said quietly. Deploy a probe. I want full scans of their vessel configurations, shield harmonics, and power signatures. Add it to the database. Knowledge was humanity's true currency now. Every piece of information about the Council brought them closer to the day when hiding would no longer be necessary. Director Chen, Elena said, turning back to the holographic connection, accelerate the production schedule. I want those 300 vessels operational in 12 months, not 18. Chen's eyes widened. Captain, that would require exposing at least 4 of our foundry stations to increased energy signatures. The Council might... The Council is about to learn something, Elena interrupted. You can hide a refugee. You can hide an exile. But you can't hide an empire forever. She paused, choosing her next words carefully. And when we finally do reveal ourselves, I want the Council to understand one thing with absolute clarity. They didn't cast out a primitive species. They created a rival. The director's expression shifted from concern to understanding. 12 months. We'll make it happen. As the connection terminated, Elena returned her gaze to the nebula. Somewhere beyond that curtain of gas and dust, the Council continued their deliberations, their politics, their carefully maintained order. They had forgotten about humanity, dismissed them as a footnote in galactic history. But in the shadows between stars, in the cold, dark spaces where light barely reached, humanity had built something the Council couldn't imagine. An empire born of rejection, forged in darkness, and tempered by 47 years of focused determination. The Council would remember humanity soon enough, and when they did, it would be too late to cast them out again. Elena smiled at her reflection in the viewport, her face half illuminated by the nebula's crimson glow. Set course for Foundry Station 7, she commanded. Let's build an empire. The Shadow Prometheus rotated smoothly, its engines producing no visible exhaust, no detectable radiation signature. Like humanity itself, it moved through the galaxy unseen. For now.